Well, here I am again, another day, and I'm back in the chair. And I want to say one thing. This framework here took 3 times as long as that one there. How quickly do we live and learn, eh? So I've had fun. I got used to the pocket screws. They're great fun, and if you pre-plan it and get all the put them in all the short things. Put them in all the short pieces. It's dead easy. You can sit up, brought in a little table. Right, some old trolley, and much better on the back, and feel a lot better. So they're pinned in, screwed to the floor. Put a couple of there's a couple of legs that are actually what we call them riv nutted into the side of the van, which is great, and they're solid as a rock. So these front ones, I think what I'll do is have these front cushions removable. Doink. Right, so I'll probably have to have a think about what happens under here, so that I don't have to remove the back cushions and stuff. So I'll probably have an area about to here, starting about here. So it's like a hatch to get into the electrics quickly, because I'd like to be able to get in there and just hit that big red switch and turn the power off. Same on this side, big red switch, and turn the solar off, and basically update. So I haven't worked out where I'm going to put the fuse box, but it's only when you get this down you realise, oh look, how much space is in there. And so I may even put a semi-temporary divider in there to allow storage, like long storage, the long things that you can access from the back door. Because I'm going to leave the back from the wheel arches back. I'm going to sorry, pointing at the wrong one. From the wheel arches back, those cubby holes will be accessible from the back. And I'm thinking, depending on how quiet it is, I'm thinking about putting an underbunk reverse cycle air conditioner. I know. And that would save me a lot of space. Or just things of water. It probably makes more sense not to have things that might make a hum or some kind of interference under the studio seats. So it may be water, but either way they'll be accessible from the garage, which is now final. It's too late to change. 50 centimetres. The garage is 50 centimetres deep. All right, which I think is enough. 50 centimetres deep, plus there's a little bit past the floor before you get to those rear doors. So you could easily squeeze in one of the big Dometic fridges, which my finger was on the button last night. I nearly did it. The 75 litre fridge with the fridge and the freezer. And why I like that is because just out here all the time, I can have, when I'm in studio use, I can have the main fridge thermostated so high that it doesn't use any power. It's just happy, right? And the freezer section, I can make it just like a drinks cooler, so that I've got a drinks cooler here in there. And if I'm recording on a blistering hot day, probably I'm not going to cope anyway and not do it. But if I am, I can switch it all around. Been learning that you put it on 240 if you're freezing stuff before you head off. But if I switch it all around, I can make it a freezer, fill it with ice blocks and icy poles or ice creams or whatever you call it in your part of the world. So yeah, at the end there, behind the studio, which will have no access from in here. That's important to know. The studio will be the back of the studio. It'll be a cushioned seat. So the seats will go down, along, and back around a table. I should just draw you a picture, shouldn't I? But I'll do it next time. So that's it. Really, really pleased with how solid these things have turned out. And now I've got a base. And also using the pocket screws really allows me to go, oh, Derek, you idiot. I should have made, for a start, I've already noticed that I've put the crossbar in a different position on 2 of these. So it probably means I can't, go inside and cut out identical cushion covers and, not cushion covers, wooden covers and stuff like that. So I can easily unscrew those and move them, put them back in, no sweat. So I'm pretty stoked about that idea. Nothing much to change electronically, although I did realise that leaning over there, putting my keys in and then plugging my phone in to listen to music and YouTube's on van life while I'm working in here is a bit dumb when I've got all this electricity now at the front. So I've just hooked up a very, very cheap Bluetooth box, so I don't have to go in the front there and put the keys in and risk accidentally draining because I don't drive this car much yet, so that should be good. All right, so that's about it for now. Not much different. Catch you next time.